is Riley, and this is my first YouTube video. I'm filming this on my tablet. I have CapCut on my tablet. It's gonna be low quality. But are those the best videos? Are those the best videos where they're low quality? I think so. Some things about me, I'm 22. I live on the East Coast. I love Jesus. I love reading. I love my fiance. Oh my good God, I don't have my ring on. I love my fiance. I don't have my ring on. Stupid. But I have it on now. Anyways, yes. Love Jesus. Love my fiance. I love my friends and family. I love reading. That is what this whole entire friggin' YouTube channel is gonna be about. Well, most of it. I do have other video ideas of like crafts and vlogs if and when I get comfortable filming in public. But I'll get there. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to make this YouTube channel is because I made like a reading goal for myself. It has since changed, obviously, because my mood has changed. I can be like a mood reader sometimes. So I originally had a list of 30 books that I was going to read, and that didn't pan out. I have since changed that list many times, but I landed on a list. I landed on a schedule of what books I'm going to read, what months I'm going to read them. And yeah, so when I first made the list, I was thinking to myself, well, you know, what if I post reviews on YouTube, or what if I post reviews on like Snapchat, or like TikTok or whatever. But I like quickly threw that idea away. I was like, well, are people gonna care? Do I really do that? I've never thought of doing that before. I'm not really like, you know, I've never thought of doing that before. So I just let it go. And then one of my friends at my job, actually her and her twin sister both do YouTube. Shout out Kate and Becca. Kate was telling me, she was like, about, you know, we were talking about reading and how we both love books. And then she was telling me she has a YouTube channel. I was like, you know, I really thought of doing that. And she's like, do it. You totally should. So yeah, you know. I will get to this in a second. But this is my introduction to, you know, my YouTube channel. But I'm also going to do a what I read in July, because this is literally the last day of July. And I already started this week and last week reading on my like books for August. So yeah, where's the list of my books for August? Okay, before I do that, I feel like there's nothing else to say. I mean, this is my first YouTube video. Can I say that one more damn time? Okay. I'm learning. I will get there. I'm mainly just making this to talk about books and to like reach other people that like books, to entertain my friends and family who want to subscribe or watch me be stupid on the internet. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a really quick introduction compared to my other YouTube video, or like the first time I filmed this, because I honestly just want to get into the books. Okay, so I have this reading journal that you can like write all these different, you know, your thoughts. I will reference this when I talk about the books I read and my thoughts on them. I'm gonna start off I read in July, I read 4 books. Those are rookie numbers. Like, come on, I could do better. I'm going to start off with the first book. This book took me 4 months to finish because I started getting annoyed with it. And then I also started reading other things. This is Don't Let Me Break by Kelsey Ray. It is in the first generation, like her first hockey series that she did. And honestly, I'm starting to realize that I like more books from her, like the next gen hockey series that she did. But this is okay. This is romance, hockey romance. Came out in February of 2023. This is, I believe, I'm not mistaken, let me check. This is number 3 in the Don't Let Me series by Kelsey Ray. And this just didn't, I just got very annoyed towards the end. So the female main character, who's 25, her name is Kate, and the male main character is Macklin, who is 34. You know, it's like it's like a semi-age gap. It's not as big as the one I'm reading now, which I like, but they're both consenting adults, which is what I'm trying to like. I wish some of the characters in this book understood that, but of course they don't. So, but like, once it was revealed that, spoiler alert, that Kate works with Macklin's oldest daughter, who like just turned 18. Anyway, I mean, it was downhill for me after that, because like the biggest problem with that whole conflict was Macklin's ex-wife. She was just like, well, first of all, he won the lottery, and then she took half of his winnings and left him. Is that allowed? Is that legal? Can you like steal half of your partner's winnings in a lottery and then leave them? Like, that sounds weird to me. But she left him and then took his 2 daughters, Hazel and Miley. Hazel is the 18-year-old, the one that Kate works with. And then, so, you know, they're living their life, they're dating and all that, and then it is found out from Hazel being at one of like a rodeo type country restaurant place. She sees him. She sees Kate and her dad together. A mess. So then, you know, stuff hits the fan, and she's all like mad and angry and yelling, and like, it's just such an argument because, yeah, she's in closer age to Macklin's daughter. Kate is closer in age to his daughter than him. And I get it. But like, I wrote down, I said, yeah, I get it, I guess. Hazel's anger is not her own, it's her mother's anger and just like disgust and just like, I don't even know what it is. It's a toxic ex that doesn't like the father of her children, who is a great guy, and she will badmouth the father to the 2 daughters. She told Kate, when everybody found out, that she will only restore her relationship with her dad if Kate and her dad break up. So Kate, this is what also like really just started like boiling my blood. Kate goes to one of the hockey games that he is an EMT, or he's like a, you know, medic, on-site medic for the hockey team. Which I'll get to the hockey in a second, because it's actually not like obnoxious, like, oh, this story is completely centered around hockey and I want to stop reading. It's not that, which is really good. But so after the hockey game, Kate says, you know, tells Macklin what Miley said, and she's like, Kate's basically saying like, Pick me. Choose me. Love me. Macken's like, that's my daughter. That's my daughter. He is doing the right thing. And Kate's like, yeah, I know, but like, she can't get in the way of this relationship. She can't like get between us. Are you kidding me right now? Your boyfriend is given the opportunity to repair his relationship with his daughter that he didn't mess up. He didn't break. He didn't do anything like that. And granted, it's an ultimatum. Granted, it's like, it sucks. But you're gonna like get mad at him for that, for actually wanting to try? That's hot, girl. A man being a great father and a good father and like what a father should be doing, just putting his kids first rather than some random chick that he met like a couple months ago. Oh my goodness. And she was begging and she sounded so selfish. So they take a break and then Kate, like the next day or whatever, has a seizure at her work because Hazel's freaking laying it on thick again, yelling at her and giving her crap. Because also, Hazel sat her mom and her younger sister in Kate's section. Obviously to like be mean and to ridicule her. And because the mom is gonna know that the younger woman is Kate. And just to stir things up and just create more drama, right? Kate has a seizure. She has a seizure and she clonks her head on the host stand. And then Hazel freaks out and she calls her dad, freaking out. You're like, Dad, you need to get here. It's Kate, blah, blah, blah. So a couple chapters later, he has breakfast with Hazel and Miley and they talk about repairing their relationships. And then the next chapter, Mac goes to see Kate at her parents to check on her, and they reconcile, and, tell each other they love each other. I'm so serious. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. And then the book ends. Again, I'm actually gonna check this for real. Chapter 47. After he talks about how after he drops her off at her parents, after she was released at the hospital, gets a text from Hazel saying, let's get breakfast, whatever. They're talking. And then, chapter 48, they're at breakfast, right? He's talking, they're kind of starting to reconcile with his daughters. 49, he shows up at her parents' house. And they reconcile. And, they tell each other they love each other. And then the epilogue. The epilogue takes place at Kate's graduation. No mention of his daughters. No mention of his daughters. No mention of reconciling. Talking about a job offer he got, if he wants to keep the house, if he wants to the cabin that he built, move in with him, commute. He got her a car, and then they kiss, and he says how much he loves her, and then it ends. Huh? You have majority of the book have this conflict between the ex-wife and how the ex-wife is talking about, oh, Mac's dating some younger girl, who knows, she's probably a and all those kinds of things. You have that conflict and tension being built up. You have the conflict and the tension between his oldest daughter, because Miley, the younger daughter, kind of still texts him a little bit. Hazel doesn't. You have all this tension and conflict being built up, and then you have one conversation of them reconciling, and I get if because it ended with 49 chapters. I get if there was like a chapter or two more, just kind of like finishing trying to iron out the rest of those, like, those conflicts. But then, like, you don't put like him and his daughters and Kate like in the epilogue. The perfect epilogue would have been all of them going out together, like, not as a family, you know, like, you don't have to force that kind of like, you know, dynamic if it's still like too early, but like, don't. So yeah, I was not a fan. I don't know, it was really good, like, the first, like, half, but then once, like, that conflict got introduced, I also hate the miscommunication trope. I hate it. When it's done, not good. And it was not done good in this, in my opinion. If you like it, I mean, maybe I'm missing something that, you know, you lovely people didn't, or, like, caught on to, but, yeah, so, yeah. That was that. I just wanted to get that rant out of the way. So, first one that I got, my friend Kate and I were at Barnes & Noble. It's had just come out. I started this, well, it came out in the beginning of June, but I got it at the end of June. Started this June 24th and finished it on July 8th. Oh my gosh. This book put me in such, like, a high. Like, I read another one of her books after this, and I was so slow getting into the other one because I was still riding the high of this one. Not a big fan of hardcover, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Oh my gosh. By the way, Taylor Jenkins Reid just dives head freaking first in whatever the heck she's writing about. You know, whatever subject is the main focus. I love that. Like, the author's note in the beginning of this is just her basically talking about how much of, like, a love she has now for, like, her newfound hobby, which is watching the stars. Just watching the stars, learning about space and all that. And this book, this character, first of all, it's written in the she, he, they point of view, not the, like, I, we, me type point of view, which was very interesting. I can't remember for the life of me the last time I read a book in that perspective, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. She writes with such maturity and, like, very eloquently spoken, and just, like, her voice, it's like, it's just very distinct, and I've noticed it, like, reading these 3 books. It's really, like, refreshing. It's really refreshing. This, normally, you know, I've read smutty books in the past. I'm not gonna, hey, not gonna deny that. But reading how she writes about love and intimacy, this is very much like closed door romance. You know, she writes a lot of closed door because that's not the focus of her books. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing. Like, I never knew, or, like, I never, like, thought I'd be so, like, in awe about this. So, it's really great. To the end, like, I was at work. I was reading this at work. And my coworker, my friend, who was up in the lobby with me, next to me, I kept turning to him. I was like, I am gonna have to finish this at home because I had to put this down, like, 4 separate times, probably. And I was crying at work. I was, like, tearing up. You know, tears were running, but I wasn't, like, like, you know, sobbing. If I was at home, oh my gosh, if I was at home, I would have been, like, screaming, crying, throwing up. Because of just, like, the relief at the end. This one was more, I was less sad in this compared to another one I'm going to talk about. I was less sad and more so like relieved, and how like sweet of a love story Joan and Vanessa's love is. And also, screw Joan's sister. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just actually like remembered some of the conversations that they had. Crazy. Franny is Joan's child. Does not matter if Joan is her aunt. Franny is her daughter. Period, end of story. Because her sister had Franny too early. And I get when you have kids too early, you think, you know, it was a mistake or whatever, but like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you have the kid, that's your kid, and you better take care of them. Especially if you, anyways. This is amazing. 10 out of 10. Just everything that went on through here, it was beautiful. It was Gorgina, and I loved it. So, highly recommend. I didn't spoil anything. Next one I read that I had a hard time getting into because I was tweeting out about that book. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like this as much as I thought I was going to. I will tell you like my ranking at the end of this. I did not like this as much as I thought I was going to. Is this still fantastic? Yeah. But I know that everybody says don't watch the show before you read the book. Don't watch the show before you read the book. Don't like read the book first, because like the majority of the time they change it. So when I was reading this, I was looking at even some of like the like lyrics, because they bring like, you know, lyrics, and I was reading through all the lyrics and I was thinking, you know, please is completely different. Please is completely different. Regret me is completely different. Honeycomb seems like it's completely different also. So I was just like, what the? It was great. I really do like that the choice of Billy not being a complete doo-doo head. You know, like he's made some doo-doo head decisions, trust and believe. But like, I like to choose to be loyal to his family. And Daisy would never be good for him. Daisy would never be good for him. Because, at least in the book, how they were together is so much worse than how they were and how they're supposed to be, like, apart. They were great when it came to performing and to singing and making music. Like, seriously, like, something different was birthed in that studio when they two got together to make something. It was completely different than if they were to make something separately. But that's because they were both insanely talented, and the heart that they had for music was just on the same level with each other. But I think, you know, they got wrapped up in all the emotions when it came to like writing songs and you know, the music that they created. The lines started to blur, so they started to like bring those feelings, like they started like kind of get murky and confusing. And Daisy just like, she was horrible for his sobriety, and she was just, it wouldn't have ended well if they got together for a multitude of reasons. But I do think that like, I do think Billy would have like broken his sobriety, And that was the biggest thing, the one thing that Camilla, like, wanted him to, like, stay 100%, like, strong on. And Camilla's a god warrior. She is, I said, better than I could ever be. Some would be really stupid to stick by Billy after everything, but she's not. True, it would be stupid of her if Billy was, you know, scum of the earth. But he wasn't, though. That's the thing. She saw the potential in him and, like, recognized it and, like, knew that it was true. You know, she wasn't just like, oh, I see potential in him. No, like, she knew that there was potential in him. She knew that it was real. And she knew that, like, he deserved to be loved. And she saw him as a person and loved him through everything. And it was just so, I don't, Camilla is a better woman than I am. Than I could be. I mean, like, maybe, like, if I don't know what I would have done in Camilla's situation, but then again, at the same time, like, you never know what you're gonna do in that situation unless you're put in it. The stuff with, Graham and Karen's story, it was so heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking. I don't want to get too deep into that, because that's a touchy subject, but I think it's heartbreaking for both of them. It was really sad. It was so good. Honestly, like, I think I didn't really get much Fleetwood Mac vibes from the book, at least. I guess I was inspired by. I feel like they amped it up a little bit more for the show. But, like, I get and I, like, see how it's inspired by, like, Lindsay Buckingham and Stevie Nicks' relationship. But it was nice. It had its own vibe and aesthetic, and it had its own, like, world, and it wasn't just, like, it has its own story, and it wasn't just, like, copy and paste, you know? Also, the format of just, like a bunch of different people all, like, kind of being interviewed at once. Not in the same room, but, like, they're putting the story, or piecing the story together. With, like, Rod, Billy, Daisy, Graham, Daisy, Karen, Billy, Daisy. You know, like, that was a little tough to get into. Normally, I just, like, read, and, like, I had to, like, actually, you know, I actually had to, like, in my head, consciously, like, look at who was talking. But yeah, I liked it. The twist at the end, you know, this book has been out for a minute, that the interviewer is Billy's first daughter. And I literally, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna start crying in the next book, too, that I talk about. I don't remember the last time that we hear from Camilla. I didn't even, like, realize, because she talks about how Camilla died, like, before she could even, like, finish this book, like, finish the interviews completely. And then I, like, put the book down, and I was like, when was the last time on the page that we actually, like, saw Camilla being interviewed? Like, when was the last time did it say Camilla and, like, what she's saying? I didn't even realize that, because I was so, like, wrapped up in the book. And then when I found out that she, at the end, when she passes away, it's just so heartbreaking. And obviously, you know, her email at the end of it, tell your father I said at the very least the two of them owe me a song. Yeah, dude. Okay. Lock in. Anyways. This book I also finished at work. Didn't cry as much as Atmosphere. But yeah. That book, still a 10 out of 10. Still a 10 out of 10 to me. So that's Daisy Jones and the Six. I needed to take a moment. I did not finish this at work. And I'm very glad that I didn't, frankly, because oh my freaking gosh. The twist at the end, jump off a cliff. I read this book in 2 days. This book, my fiance and I had a full-on conversation because I talked to him about all the things that Evelyn went through. By the way, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I talked to him about all the things that Evelyn went through as a child, and just, I wrote down 2 quotes from the beginning. I wrote down, I had a sexuality in my body that my mind wasn't ready for. And then I wrote down, he'd convinced himself that his wanting me was my fault. And in the book, Evelyn develops early, relatable, same twin. But it really did hit home for me in that sense. Because I feel like as curvier or more developed in the top and bottom, in the chest and the booty, the more plump, I guess, you are all the way around, the more people think that their accidental staring or the attention that you get on your body is your fault. I didn't ask for these breasts. I got them. I didn't ask for this butt. I got them. I didn't ask for these curves. I got them. Not that I'm complaining. I'm just saying, that's a lot of what women think. We didn't ask for our bodies to be this way, and when you try to make us feel that it is our fault for you oogling at us when you're the ones who can't control yourself, it's just especially young girls. I totally understand developing at an early age is so hard and so embarrassing and so difficult to wrap your mind around. And I get it. You have this sexuality in your body that your mind isn't ready for. And when she said that, I 100% I was electroshocked back to when I first started developing up top. And I remember, I think I had a training bra that was peeking through my shirt, and some guy flicked it in 6th or 7th grade. By the way, he was walking with my crush. Oh, humiliated. Oh, I wanted to cry. So I'm gonna pass away now and never come to school again. But you start getting all this attention, and you either get attention from other girls because they're either jealous or that's what most of female on female bullying is. It's jealousy or just learned hatred from other people. I don't even, like, I didn't fully write down, like how for, like, this or it's on this. I didn't fully write down, I didn't write down anything for this. So, like, my thoughts are kind of, like, all over the place. But it is heartbreaking, because when you, it's just like a back and forth battle. When you develop early, no fault of your own, just how your body works. When you develop early and you get all this attention from men or women, but men most of the time, when you're a child, most of the time, when you get all this attention from men, you begin to think that, like, okay, well, this is the power I have. And that's what Evelyn did. She thought, okay, well, if they're going to look at me this way, I'm going to use this to my advantage. So she uses it to her advantage, but it still feels icky. It still feels sleazy. And it's like she's suffering, even though she, like, at least to me, she's suffering because, like, she's trying to, like, take back her sexuality at such a young age when, like, no, you need to be a kid. You need to be a kid. But it was hard. She couldn't because of, you know, the environment that she was in when she was a child. So then you try and take back your sexuality and use it to your advantage. But then still the only people that are benefiting are the men. Because they're getting what they want from you. You know? And you are still having to use your body to get what you want when you shouldn't have to use your body to get what you want. That just, it's, at least to some men, it just solidifies in their heads that women are objects, sex objects. And it just, it's very heartbreaking. So, this book, and then, oh my gosh, and then the twist at the end when Evelyn's like, I'm a bad person. I've done bad stuff. And then the review's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, now you do. Now you know what she's talking about because you hate her. But, like, you're so captivated by her because she's Evelyn Hugo. But, like, oh my gosh. And also, the biphobia in this book is crazy. The biphobia that Celia has is crazy, girl. Crazy. I had to burp, sorry. It's crazy. Like, granted, you know, it's the 50s. No one really, you know, you think you're just one or the other, gay or straight. And even that, they don't like to talk about gay people. And, like, even still in the 80s. In the 80s, she was still trying to be like, I am bisexual. And she's like, this is just a game you're playing. You just, like, playing me. Like, you're pretending. Like, you're just afraid. You're, like, you're trying, like, this is, you're the real you when you're not here. And then when you're out there with them, you know, you're putting on this front and you're trying to, like, you know, it's like this game that she's, like, she thinks Evelyn is, like, putting on and playing. Yeah, but when they were together, though, the last time they were together, like, in their old age, and Celia, like, actually, like, corrected herself and called Evelyn bisexual, oh my gosh. Like, that was, like, I'm like, well, damn, finally! But, yeah, and then just her, like, her having to, like, Americanize herself and, like, white herself up, basically, is just obviously unfathomable to me, because I am, if you can't tell already, a white woman. That just, like, is so, also, it's just so, like, it's just so, like, ugly behavior. Like, telling someone you have to whiten yourself up, dye your hair, thin out your bushy dark eyebrows, you know, like change your name because your name sounds too ethnic. It's crazy. That just, everything about this book just absolutely blew my freaking mind. Again, beautiful, mature writing. The relationship she had in this book, she really did what she had to do to survive. You know, just continuing to survive and all the abuse that she went through, and, you know, just trying to get where she needed to go, get where she needed to be. It sucks. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. It sucks. She was, I don't know if I'd say she was made for a different time. She had a very progressive soul, obviously. So maybe, I guess you could say that, like, she was made for a different time. But, I mean, she was just, she did what she had to do. She did what she had to do. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, she did what she had to do. And those people that don't understand, that don't think she had to do what she had to do, I don't know. Maybe, I guess I could kind of see your point in it, but then at the same time, this did not take place now. This took place, like, in the 50s. You know, a completely different time. So yes, she did have to do what she had to do. Live her life how she had to live her life. Marry who she needed to marry. It's sad. But it's just very, like, it's just so... This is the same feeling you get when you watch Little Women. You're like, you know? That's the same energy. Now, I don't know if I said this because I can't remember, but I did finish this at home. I did. I had, like, probably 5 chapters left. Yeah, I finished Old Girl at Home because I did sob. Screaming, crying, throwing up for this one. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. 10 out of 10. Over 5 million copies sold. Yeah, girl, I know that's right. Oh my goodness. Anyways, that's 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. 1 billion out of 10. Truly. It is something different, and it's great. It's great. As of right now, my ranking is, this is, like, up here. Atmosphere is, like, up here. Right? Screenshot this in your mind. And then Daisy Edgar Jones and the 6 is, like, down here a little more. So like 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Atmosphere is right here, and then Daisy Jones and the 6 is like a bit lower. It is so close of a tie between Atmosphere and 7 Husbands. So close of a tie. Maybe it is a tie because I look at both of these books and no, I like 7 Husbands better. I was gonna say, I look at both of these books and I just can't decide which one I like better. No, I like this one better. I think out of all 3, this is my favorite. And I didn't think it was gonna be my favorite, actually. I thought Atmosphere was gonna be my favorite, and I thought this was gonna be my least favorite out of all these 3. But no, this on top. So yeah, that is the 3. I gotta get a thumbnail. the 3 Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I read this month, and the other one, the hockey one. Oh, I forgot to get that. I forgot to get that point. The hockey in those, I will say, like, I will give Kelsey Ray her flowers for, is that the hockey in the books is not like, like every other chapter. It's not overbearing. Even though it is smutty books, even though it is a hockey romance, there is like plot and like conflict to it. However little you think, there is like stuff to it. It is not painfully centered around hockey. It is just characters who happen to play hockey. You know what I mean? Some are more hockey centric than the other ones. A Little Broken, I think. A Little Broken, which is the second to last in the Next Gen, in the second hockey series that she wrote. That one has nothing to do with hockey. Actually, the main male character, the love interest, is in a band. He's like a rock star. So that was like a cool break to have. But, I mean, is the writing still cheesy? Yeah, but, you know, sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you need cheesy writing. Sometimes you need this writing that, you know, punches you in the face, punches your heart in the chest, like punches your chest, rips your heart out, rubs dirt in it, throws it on the ground, stomps on it a little bit, picks it back up, tries to, you know, oh, there's dirt on it, tries to like brush it off, and then like tries to put your heart back in. It's like, oh, wait, you know, it's like falling out. It's like you're trying to like hold it back in. That's what these books do to you. That's what these books do to you. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening to me. Absolutely lose my friggin' mind. There will be more to come. There will be more of me losing my mind to come. And I really hope you join me. You join me on the road to me losing my mind. I would love to have ya. I'd love to have you. I just picked an eye booger. But anyways, yes. I will link my socials down below. My TikTok. I'll link my TikTok. I don't know when the next video is going to be. I don't know what it's going to be on. I'm going to tell you guys my reading plan before I go. My reading plan for this month. I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this every like what I read this month. I'll tell you guys the plan for the next month. So August, I already finished Don't Let Me Break, so that one's, you know, I'm going to finish the Don't Let Me series, which is Don't Let Me Down, and then Let Me Love You. I'm currently reading A Little Crush, which is the last book in the Next Gen hockey series. These are both the Kelsey Ray hockey series. And then I'm reading The Secret History. The one that, this one by Donna Tartt, if I can get it out of my backpack. I kind of started to annotate because this, you think I said this is mature writing? No, girl, this is not romance. I'm going to need big brain power on this one. So I'm kind of glad that the other books that I have on here are just like mindless romance books that I can knock out easily, because this is going to take up most of August for me. So yeah, that's that. Again, thank you guys, anyone and all who are here. Be cool if you guys subscribe, smash that freaking like button, drop a comment, you know, comment your favorite ice cream flavor. I don't know. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Be great if you guys subscribed. And I will see you whenever the heck I post the next YouTube video. Bye bye bye.